Hi, it's Diederik Gelderman here, speaker, trainer, author of 4 published books, and founder of Business Productivity Academy and Turbocharge Your Practice. Welcome. Thank you so much for the feedback that I received after my workshop video last week, in which I talked about and explained and detailed the 2-day event that we're having on Sydney in just a few weeks now, the 20th and the 21st of February. So if you haven't signed up for that workshop yet, tickets are going fast. So Michelle's put a link on the screen here for you today. If you haven't signed up yet, please sign up now. Otherwise you will miss out. Now, one of the questions I had a lot after last week's video blog was about wellness plans. That's one of the topics that we'll be talking about on day 2. And I've relented, I guess, in a way, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight, a little bit of information into wellness plans now. So really regard this as my thoughts on wellness plans. I'll give you some ups and downs and ins and outs and lefts and rights, just some general thoughts. To learn more about wellness plans in depth and to get some examples of wellness plans that you can implement in your practice immediately. Wellness plans that work. You want some examples of wellness plans that work and that you can immediately apply them, implement them in your practice. Come to the workshop. There's plenty of wellness plans that don't work. You won't get one of those. You get one of the ones that do work. So let me talk about some thoughts on wellness plans, and I've made some notes for myself, so excuse me if I'm not making eye-to-eye contact all the time. So the first thing about wellness plans is Banfield have them, Vet West in Australia have them, Green Cross in Australia have them. There's many other practices have them. Those 3 practice wellness plan models are the best around that I can find at the moment. There may be some individual plans in some smaller practices, but from a large perspective, these plans work well. So they're well worth looking at. And you can look them up online and get some details from them if you like. When you come to the workshop event, I'll actually give you some specific websites that'll tell you exactly how and why these plans work and all that sort of stuff and all the stats on them. Now, a couple of thoughts here. First thing wellness plans do really well is they minimize mischarges. Because of the way they're designed to work and because the concept of bundling and the concept that a lot of things in wellness plans are free or discounted, they are really good at minimizing mischarges. They're also really good in practices with high turnover. So typically Banfield, for example, have a 20 to 25% turnover in practice staff annually. So this is really good because new staff members come in, and rather than learning about dental plans, senior programs, field and wellness programs, and learning half a dozen different things, all they've got to do is learn about the practice's wellness plan, the Banfield wellness plan, and that covers everything. And in the Banfield model, it also the wellness plans interact or interface with their 5 core key beliefs on healthy pets. So it's great for minimizing mischarges. It's great with high staff turnover because it becomes very simple to train staff in the wellness plans rather than in everything else they need to be trained in. It's also really good in a situation where you've got poor staff training methods or poor staff training methodologies in place, or where there's no one or there's no staff training in the practice, because all you need to do is train about wellness plans. That's it. The other point is that wellness plans become a point of focus for everything to do in the practice, including talking to the clients. You just talk about wellness plans and that covers virtually everything. And the other thing is, for most of the clients, they make care more affordable, and because it's paid on a monthly basis, more people take it up. So there's a whole heap of reasons there. Now, a couple of other thoughts. When you sell wellness plans, you're actually selling discounted services, okay? And in the Banfield model, for example, the services are discounted some 55%. Fair whack, isn't it? 55% discount. Now, you're selling discounted services. The question is, what percentage of clients would have bought those services or invested in those services at the normal price if you didn't have a wellness plan? Now, I can't answer that for you. That's something you're going to need to find out in your practice. We'll talk about that in a lot more detail at the workshop event. And then a question I'm going to ask you, and I haven't got an answer, the proponents of wellness plans will say yes, and the the wellness plan people will say no. So do wellness plans promote the use of extra services? Do wellness plans promote the use of extra services? It's a good question, isn't it? Now, a couple of thoughts that I'd suggest for you if you're going to implement a wellness plan. So plagiarise, copy, steal, ethically of course, a wellness plan that's in place from someone that actually works. There are lots of wellness plans out there. As I said, I receive probably a phone call every 2 or 3 weeks from a practice who says, hey Dick, can you help me? I've got a wellness plan in place and it's driving me bust. I only got the wellness plan because my competitor up the road or up the street has one, and my clients said they wanted one from me, or they'd go to that other practice and I did what they asked me to and now it's driving me bust. One every 2 to 3 weeks, so there's a lot of people having that issue. So a couple of thoughts here. Don't include high margin stuff in your wellness plan. Ear swabs, diff quicks, gram stains, they're high margin things. Skin scrapings, sticky tape impression smears, all those sorts of things, don't include them in a wellness plan because they're high margin. So you want to keep those high margin items so you're not discounting all your products and services. Now, one of the other things about wellness plans is that statistically people will come in 2.3 days earlier, if I remember the numbers correctly. So this is from again from Banfield and Green Cross, these numbers. Clients come in and visit you 2.3 days before they typically would have visited you if they didn't have a wellness plan. So you are getting clients in the door earlier, and arguably that would result in better patient outcomes and better patient standards of care. Now, the other thing with wellness plans is clients will come back more often. So they'll come back earlier and more often. So that again would you'd think better patient standards of care, better patient outcomes. May not always be the case, but you would think so, wouldn't you? Now, it certainly does increase busyness in the practice. Wellness plans certainly increase busyness. But if you're a busy practice already, do you want to be busier? Because if you're busy already and you get more busy, more cracks open up in the practice and clients are getting poorer standards of service, poorer patient care, poorer patient outcomes. So you really got to think about that. You want to be busy or not, because with wellness plans, your margins are cut dramatically. So you'll get busier, but your margins and your markup percentages, margins will go down, markups will go down, and also your net profit will go down. So your actual dollar profit may go up, but your net profit will go down. So you've got to do a lot more work to get less outcome. Is that what you want? Some practices yes, some practices no. It really depends on the model of practice you have. So I hope you've determined your practice model. Is it low touch, low tech? Is it high touch, high tech? Is it somewhere in between? Because if you haven't determined what your practice model is, then wellness plans could be the death of you, in inverted commas, could drive your practice down the tubes. Now, one of the other things about wellness plans is that most people pay monthly, so that levels out your cash flow and it helps them to afford the wellness plan. So leveling out cash flow is great, especially in quiet times, in winter, times like that. Now, I've got some stats here about wellness plans from a group of practices who'll remain nameless, and they looked at the A, B, C, D and E clients. Now, in the A clients, there was virtually no increase in use of the of practice services. So when the A clients went on to wellness plans, the use of client services, the use of practice services didn't increase at all. The B clients improved or increased their spend by 50 odd %, the C clients by 80 odd %, the D clients by 130 odd %, and the E clients 160 odd %. So the A clients didn't increase their spend, the E clients increased their spend by 160%. My question is, I love working with A clients. Really, all I want in my practice is A clients. If you're not an A client or a B client that's aspiring to be an A client, I really don't want you in my practice. That's my belief system, all right? So A clients didn't improve their spend, B clients improved their spend 50-odd%. So that's okay for me at that stage. But the C's, D's and E's improve their spend massively. Do I really want those clients in my practice? You know, for me personally, I want to work with, I love working with A's and B's aspiring to be A's. The C, D's and E's really give me a headache. They're not the clients that I want to work with. I mean, I want to go to a practice, I want to work in a practice that's fun and enjoyable, and dealing with C, D's and E's is not fun and enjoyable for me. So I just give you that feedback, and that's for you to think about yourself. Those numbers may or may not hold up for you, but that is a very definite set of numbers from a very large practice group that study this in great detail. Now, the roadblocks, and I've given you some pluses and minuses for wellness plans. Roadblocks. Team, training the team, that's one, and also team accepting wellness plans. Big issue, big stumbling block. The logistics of putting the payments through, another big stumbling block. Now, in most wellness plans, the visit is free, but the revisit is not. Educate that causes, in a lot of practices, causes a lot of headaches, a lot of miscommunication with clients, and a lot of unhappy clients when they have to pay for a revisit because they think all the visits are free. Well, typically with most wellness plans, first visits are free, revisits are not. Now, in a lot of cases, there's confusion about wellness plans in pet insurance because a lot of clients think that wellness plans are in fact pet insurance. And again, lots of client arguments, lots of headaches, lots of stuff where the practice manager needs to get involved and sort clients out, lots of, you know, staff abuse by clients when they have a miscommunication about wellness versus pet insurance. Now, you also need to educate clients about the difference between wellness and illness, because there's a big difference, and again, different modalities under the wellness plan model. And then, what do you do? Some simple logistics again. What do you do if the patient dies? What happens to the money that the people have invested in the wellness plan? What about if they move out of town and you're a single site practice and you haven't got another site that you can refer that client to in the new town? What do you do with the money? And then what about in a situation where you've got a wellness plan and it's paid monthly, and let's assume it's for a young dog or a young cat, and at 3 months or 6 months, whatever, they're getting all their vaccinations, they're getting their spay, neuter, castration, whatever you want to call it, they're getting their heartworm, and they get their annual flea tick, pack, and then they move out of town or they stop paying. What do you do? Because it's going to be hard to chase them for the next 12 months of payments, and you'll lose money big time there. So they're my thoughts about wellness plans. Now, I'll give you one of my thoughts about how and where wellness plans work really well in the practices that I work with, and where we've implemented them and they've been really, 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 I hope you get the point, excellent. And this is where you have wellness plans just for the senior citizens, just for the senior pets. So there's no wellness plans from 0 to 7 years of age, and at 7 years of age you implement wellness plan for cats and for dogs, and that's the only wellness plans you have. Now, I've got quite a number of practices that I'll work with and have worked with in the past in which we've done that. We've got well over 100 practices now that have implemented that model, and they love it. So that would be my last thought for you. So that's it. It's a very quick 10-15 minute summary on wellness plans. In that event in Sydney on the 20th, 21st of February 2015, we spend much, 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 much longer going into real depth about wellness, and I'll give you a couple of wellness plans, more than a couple actually, 4 wellness plan models that are working in practice, and you can just take these wellness plans and implement them in your practice, boom, boom. So it's all done for you, as it were. So another, you know, we've got the productivity on day one, insane productivity on day one, insane practice growth on day two, and wellness plans on day two as well. So there's, hey, lots of reasons for you to come along. Click the link in the email or copy and paste the link on today's video into your browser. Sign up for the workshop. It's only $349. Bring along a second attendee. You get in early enough and you can bring along a second attendee, because remember, when you go home and there's two of you there, you're much more likely to implement. So please, love to see you at the event. I'll see you, if I don't see you beforehand, I'll see you at the event, or I'll see you on the next blog. Bye for now.